Hey, welcome! Today, we're diving into a classic parable that honestly feels like it was written for the modern office. It's the ancient story of the blind men and the elephant, and believe me, it holds a really powerful key to unlocking team conflict and, just working better together. So let me ask you this. It sounds like a riddle, right? Can everyone on a team be right and yet somehow be completely wrong all at once? Well, this question really gets to the heart of so many disagreements we have at work, and it's the central tension we're going to unravel today with a little help from an old story. Okay, so our story kicks off with this curious Raja, a king, who gives his servant a pretty strange command. He says, "Go and gather up all the men in the city who were born blind, and I want you to show them an elephant." Now, what's really interesting here is how the servant did this. See, he didn't just let them wander around and explore the whole animal. No, instead, he carefully guided each man to one and only one part. So one guy felt the head, another just the ear, a third only the tusk. And here's the crucial part. Nobody got the full picture. Everyone's experience was totally siloed. So once that was all done, the Raja brought the men before him, and he asked them a simple question. "Well, have you seen the elephant? Tell me, what sort of thing is it?" What he was really doing was asking them to define the entire animal based on this tiny, fragmented piece of information they each had. And this is where it all starts to get really fascinating. The man who would touch the head confidently declares, "Sire, an elephant is like a pot." But immediately, the man who felt the ear pipes up, "No, it's like a winnowing basket." Then another one insists it's a plow, and someone else is describing a pillow. You see, every single description was completely logical from their own point of view, but it completely contradicted everyone else's reality. And you can probably guess what happened next. This simple disagreement just escalated and fast. Think about it. Each man was absolutely convinced by what he had literally felt with his own two hands. So when someone else described something completely different, it wasn't just a difference of opinion. It felt like they were being called a liar. It felt personal. The whole scene just devolved into total chaos. You've got shouts of "yes it is" and "no it isn't" flying back and forth. They're all insisting an elephant is like this, until, finally, they actually started throwing punches. And the whole time, the Raja is just watching, kind of delighted by the mess he'd created. Now, the Buddha told this story to make a really profound point, and it's all captured in this verse right here. The lesson is this. The people who are the most certain, the ones who cling to their views and argue the loudest, well, they're often the ones seeing only one tiny piece of the puzzle. Their deep conviction doesn't come from a full understanding. It actually comes from the limits of their own perspective. So, okay, how does this ancient story have anything to do with us? I mean, we're not physically blind, but we all experience reality through our own unique filters. Our jobs, our backgrounds, our training. We're all looking at the world through our own specific lens, which means, in a way, we are all just touching one part of the elephant. And this brings us right to this core concept of a partial truth. Look, the man who said the elephant's foot was a pillar, he wasn't lying. From his limited perspective, it was true. The problem wasn't his experience. The problem was his mistaken belief that his little slice of the experience was the entire reality. The parable really offers a powerful way to shift your mindset. It suggests that the goal of a disagreement isn't to prove you're right and the other person is wrong. It's about enlightenment, about piecing together all those different partial truths so that finally you can see the complete picture. All right, let's do it. Let's put this elephant right in the middle of the modern office, because this is where the parable stops being just a story and starts becoming an incredibly useful tool for understanding teen conflict, miscommunication, and all those projects that just get stuck. I want you to consider this classic scenario. We'll call it Project Odyssey. The sales team, right? They see this project as the elephant's tusk. It's the sharp, vital feature they need right now to go win a huge client. Their whole focus is speed. But the engineering team, they're holding the elephant's foot. For them, this project is all about system stability, about the foundation. They know they need to refactor some old code first, or everything else will be wrong. Both views are true. Both are absolutely critical. But because they're holding completely different parts of the same elephant, they end up in conflict. So how do we actually fix this? Well, the parable points the way. First, just acknowledge your own blind spot. You could literally start a meeting by saying, "Look, my perspective is from sales, so I really need help understanding the technical challenges here." Second, make it your mission to gather all the other perspectives. Actively go listen to what the foot people and the tail people are feeling and seeing. And finally, you assemble the whole picture together, combining all those partial truths to build one shared reality. And that really leaves us with one crucial question to carry into your next meeting, your next project, or your next disagreement. Just ask yourself, what part of the elephant am I holding right now? And maybe even more importantly, whose perspective do I need to go find before I can really